When pondering what things are free, do you always find yourself inhaling deeply through your nose, newly aware that air is free? What actors could play you? Are you a fast dresser? Do you like to be the one who holds the tickets for airplanes, movies, etc.? Do you trust others? What about doctors? What is the worst ailment you've ever been diagnosed with? Have you ever been diagnosed as something? How are you at metabolizing shame? Where in your calendar year have the birthdays you celebrate tended to cluster? April? If you went to church as a kid, did you and your family sit in the front or in the back? What things have you been doing when you've received news that a loved one has passed on? Can you sleep with socks on? Can people place your place of birth by hearing your accent? What would you try to save in a fire? Do you wear non-winter hats? Pulpy or pulpless orange juice? Do you always watch for the longest day of the year and then miss it? Do you miss lots of things you mean to see or do? Events you meant to attend? Picnics involving babies? Do you even notice? Do you go to the gym? What is your favorite kind of nut? Do you remove shoes upon entering? If no, are you annoyed when you walk into someone else's home and find a pile of shoes and a note? Does walking on rattling street vents make you anxious? Do you tell people when you're ticked at them? How are you at judging clouds of the metaphorical variety, at discerning those which will blow over and those which will grow to take over your sky? Is there anyone who likes washing silverware? What celebrities have you met? What is your method for dealing with coins? Spend as you go? Hoard? Roll? Are you a sucker for foreign accents? Do you rearrange your furniture regularly? Do you live in a place where furniture can be rearranged? Or is there really only one logical place for everything? What gift or gifts did you receive upon graduating high school? Do you get mad when a drink is handed across a bar to you with too much ice? Mad enough to send it back? Do you send meals back in restaurants or just suffer through them? Are there multiple languages in which you're fluent? Why did you leave your hometown, if you did? What are you usually doing when it occurs to you to clip your toenails? Can you drive stick? If no, do you feel that this makes you inadequate? How do you occupy your time when in a waiting room or on a train? Books, magazine, music, or just looking at people, then looking away? Ever French kissed the inside of your elbow? Do you live in a place where tourists come? Are you skilled at giving directions? Do you own a record player? If so, have you owned one all along? What celebrities do people insist that you look just like? Is the resemblance such that when you hear, you know who you look just like, and see the person's finger begin to wag, you can supply the name or names yourself? Do you supply the name or names yourself, or give the person pleasure of recognition? Is your name such that it is frequently mispronounced? Do you attempt to pronounce foreign words correctly, such as calling a crescent-shaped roll a croissant? Do you like being an American, if you are one? Have you ever walked around carrying a bouquet of flowers just because you like the looks folks give you on the street? Are you accurate in determining the ages of children? What age do you consider old? How has it changed? Ever just want to yank the gun from a cop's holster? Are you a good tipper? When receiving bad service, are you inclined to think it happens, that the server is just having an off day? Can you spell, without looking it up, the word hors d'oeuvre? Will you wait for a booth when a table is available? Will you step out of a shower to pee? When writing the number 2, do you loop the bottom? Surely at some point you've worn the clothing of the opposite sex. Have you ever lived in a room lit by a bare light bulb? If yes, when you opened the door and tugged that jump-back-upping beaded chain and saw the items of your life in that dimness, did you find it gloriously romantic or hilariously gloomy? If you don't live alone, is it you or someone else who changes light bulbs? Are you a good speller? What physical skills have you lost? Can you still touch your toes? As a child, were you able to turn a cartwheel? Are you hard on people? What is the deepest water in which you've been swimming? You root privately for loose plastic drink lids, windblown and cartwheeling, to stay up, to keep rolling and rolling, don't you? Do you think grades in school mattered? Can you identify flowers? Can you identify artists by looking at paintings? Do you eat the crusts of pizza, or only when they're excellent or you're hungry? Do you eat other people's crusts? Do you cut the crusts off bread? Are you a member anywhere of anything, as of a group of people that meets at a certain time and at a certain place? What do you think about communism? Can cans of whipped cream last long in your fridge? How is your self-control? How is your cholesterol? Have you ever spent a night in jail or been in a physical altercation as an adult? Have you been cheated on? How did you handle it? If you could walk on stage as the lead singer of any band in any time period, who would it be? When no one is looking, will you stick chewed gum to a chair or table bottom? When no one is looking, will you do really just about anything? What is the most money you've ever found on a sidewalk or a street? Can you tie a tie? What about a bow tie? In which stores have you imagined having shopping sprees? How are you at Trivial Pursuit, crossword puzzles? Does making a good list ever feel like an accomplishment in itself? Do you clip coupons or mail in rebates? What's your theory on why the martini glass is shaped the way it is? Do you like animals? Do you find it beautiful when sidewalks begin to freckle with rain? Seen from a high window, is there anything more lovely than when all at once umbrellas blackly bloom? About what subject, other than yourself, do you possess the most knowledge? Do you say catty corner or kitty corner? Isn't it nice when a drinking fountain is cold and with the right pressure? When you push the metal button down and up pipes a sweet and cold glassy little arc of water? Have you ever been on fire? Your cuff or your hair? What is the worst you've ever burned yourself? Can you sing? Do you find you begin singing along to songs you know always a bar or so too early? About what things do you think you're a snob? Which is snobbier, ballet or opera, poetry or croquet? How about football, beer, and buffalo wings as a little group? How about cigarettes in cities and streetlights and walking away in a leather jacket? Do you use raincoats or umbrellas? Are your faucets tricky to the point where, were an out-of-towner to use your shower, you'd feel the need to give a tutorial? Are they trickly? When dealing with a knot, are you more likely to pass the knot to another, sigh, and say, "Can you get this?" Or to take the knot from another and say, "I can get this"? Are you a take-charge type of person? Are you good with jars? Have you ever thrown away a crusty pan as opposed to cleaning it? What is the most difficult phone call you've ever had to make? What is the most difficult test you've ever had to take? Do you prefer aiming fans directly at your face or setting them on oscillate so as to best relish that all too brief rush of coolness? And when a fan turns away to say, rustle an unpaid bill on the end table, do you follow with your face as far as you can? Do you sit and patiently wait? How important is it for you to have things to look forward to? When did you cave in and buy a cell phone? Do you mind getting shots or having blood taken? How many people have you called your best friend? Does the number of beaches you've been on exceed your fingers? Does a sense of true worth, true self-worth feel like the light from a lighthouse, a sun-enveloping golden feeling that soon moves on, too fast to chase? Who is your wealthiest relative? Who is your poorest? Do you ever snort when you laugh? How are you at building fires? How about changing flat tires? To what age do you hope to live? Have you found this has changed with time? When eating Asian cuisine, do you ask for a fork? Do you bite or clip your nails? Have you ever bitten someone with the goal being to break skin? Did you like high school? When walking or driving with a companion in a place where your companion is familiar and you are not, do you tend to pay no attention whatsoever? Were you cruel or the object of cruelty as a child? The object of cruelty, right? Aren't children awful? What's the longest you've ever consecutively slept, not counting when you were sick?
Sir? Well, I want to thank all the poets who've read and to thank the audience, you, for listening so attentively. I'd like to suggest that you come to the Best American Poetry blog. If you go to www.bestamericanpoetry.com and then click on the thing that says blog. We'll get to the blog. And you'll see that among the regular contributors are several of the poets we've read this evening. For example, Terence Winch is a contributor, and so is Jill Alexander Esbaum. And we like to publish the poems and sometimes photographs proposed by Amy Gersler. Jerry Stern has poems every so often on our blog. I'm looking forward to having Amy Glynn Greason's poems on the blog. If I could get Sharon Olds to blog for us, do you think I would? Elaine Eckley seems to me to be a natural blogger. If we could channel David Shapiro, we would get him to run the blog for a year. Jim Richardson has agreed to do an aphorism a day for the next 365 days. Kamiko Han will write blogs in English and other languages. Somebody just did this, and I still don't know what that means, but I would like to thank you once again for bearing with all of us and being such wonderful audience.